So today we'll be looking at how to reference. To do that, we'll be using your Gmail account and use your Google Docs. First thing we need to do is sign into our account. As you can see, we're now in our Gmail homepage. What you're going to do here is click on the little dots at the very top right corner and you just scroll down. Here you can see you have different things like doc, sheets, slides. What you need to do is click on Google Docs. This is your Google Docs page. Here you can do multiple different things such as creating a resume, a letter, cover letter, a brochure. For today, what we'll be doing is working on how to reference an article or anything that you've read inside a document. So to do this, we're going to first click on blank. And this brings us to our Google Docs. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word, this is very much similar to that. So here you will just type in whatever your research topic is or whatever you're writing about. So let's assume right now your topic is about the rise in sea level. As we know, this is being affected worldwide. I believe even in Pikangikum currently, there's a flood going on. So this is an issue that's pretty prevalent right now. If you want to write an article about that, you would have to reference where you got your information from. At the very top, as you can see, I was reading about an article on a newspaper about the effect of rising sea levels. So let's say I want to reference a news article. You can do it manually. However, there is an easier way for students. All you have to do is go on your Google Docs and click on Tools. Here, as you can see, you have a couple different options. What you're going to do is click on citation. As you can see in the right hand side, you have a citations bar that opens up. Depending on what your teacher wants, your citation is going to look different. You have APA, MLA, Chicago. Really, they're just different styles of citing, and your teacher will let you know what you need. Let's just click on MLA, and we're going to click on add citations. So here, the type of source we're citing is a newspaper. So we click on that. Well, it's a website. And then you can search with URLs. If you go up here and copy the URL, there you go. It's giving you a lot of information here. As you can see, it has a lot of information, but it's also missing something. One of the main things it's missing is the author. So if you go back here, and you just have to check for if there is an author for this article. Most articles will have an author. However, in some cases, that might be missing. So as you can see here, there is no author in this article. So in that case, what we'll be doing is we'll be using the name of the website where we're getting this news article from as the author. So here the author is a corporation and an organization because it's not a single person. So for us, this would be BBC News. And that's it. And you click on add citation source. And now you have it here. If you want to in-text cite, you can just click on it and it'll add in to your paper. But for now, let's add in all the sources that we will be citing in our paper. The next article that we'll be looking at is from the Global News. I want to use this for my paper. As you can see here, they have the article, but at the very bottom, they also have a little video which you can watch to understand what the article is talking about.
Hurricane Dorian swept through the region as a Category 1 storm, uprooting trees and downing power lines. While the storm itself cannot be blamed on climate change, the frequency of hurricanes and tropical storms have tripled over the past few decades, which scientists point to as a prime example of climate change.
As you can see, this is a great article that's talking about the impact that's having, and I would like to cite it for my paper. So to do this, again, click Add Citation Source. It's another website, but it's a newspaper article. Click on that website. And again, ask for the URL. It's over here. Copy, paste, and search. As you can see, it's giving us all the information. Continue, and there you go. So as you can see, it has filled in all of the relevant information that's needed, and you can just click on Add Citation Source, and there you have it. So that's the second article that we have for this paper. Now, while I was searching on Google about more information about the rise in sea levels, I came across this website, which tells us a lot more about what's happening. It gives us a chart to look at, especially it's divided in by years. It shows you the average change in sea level over the past 2 centuries. So this is another great article that I would love to add into my paper. So to do that, You're going to go here and click on Add Citation Source. This is a website. As you can see, it's giving us the information, but I'm going to show you how to cite manually. In case when you put in the URL for the website, it doesn't give you the information. So click on Cite Manually. Author. The author is Rebecca Lindsay. The title is Climate Change, Global Sea Level. Website is climate.gov. Copy the URL from here. There you go. Publish day. Over here, you have it at the top. It was published on August 14th, 2020, and it was updated on April 19th, 2022. In this case, I would say use the updated publication date because while yes, it was published 2 years ago, they have more recent information on it. It would be better if you put in the second date, April 19, 2022, the day it was updated. However, if you did put in the first one, that would also be correct. So, April 19, 2022, published date is 19, month April, and year is 2020. Access date, that would be today. So, you can put in the date that you're accessing it, or you can keep it blank. And just click on Add Citation Source. And there you have it. That's your third citation. As I'm writing this, I also reference my textbook. I'm using my grade 9 geography textbook called Making Connections. To do that, I just click Add Citation Source, Book. This is print. So here we have a couple different authors that we will be putting in. So the first one is Becky. And because we have more than one author, we're just going to click on the plus contributor button. And here we can add in more authors. So the next author is Tom, and I have about 6 authors for this. So I'm just gonna take my time to put all their names in. Oops, as you can see, I made a mistake and I already said click citation source. If I click on the little dots at the side, I can edit. So it takes me back here, and as you can see, I need to put in one more author. Those are all my authors. So our title is Making Connections, Issues in Canadian Geography. Now here, you will need the publisher, the year it was published, which edition it is. So here I can just put the third. The publisher for this book is Pearson Education. So Toronto Pearson Education to be accurate. Published year 2006. Third edition, and there's no volume, short title, or DOI. There you go. And as I was rechecking my information, I realized I actually missed 2 additional authors, so I'm just going to add them here. This is why it's very important to just recheck your information one more time and click on Save Source. So, as you can see, here we have it, all of our authors and along with the other citations that we've inputted. And you can do this for all the other citations, so click on Add Citation Source, depending on what you want to do. Book section is if you only want to do a chapter of a specific book. So, let's click on that, Access by Print manually. So, as you can see, it's very similar to how we did the textbook. However, here, the section title just means the title or the chapter of the book that you're citing. For example, let's say I wanted to cite Making Connections textbook again. However, this time I only wanted to do a certain chapter from that textbook. And this time, let's do the second edition for this book. So it'll look a little bit different. So there's only 2 authors for this. John Wallace. There you go. Section title. I wanted to only cite a certain chapter. So let's say I wanted to talk about the physical connection. So how different ecozones in Canada and how the different landforms interact with each other and what happens if the water rises in certain lakes and what does that mean for neighboring cities. In this textbook, this is chapter 3. So I would just write Unit 3, Physical Connections, Canada's Ecozone. Book title is of course Making Connections. This time is a different place. Published year is 1999. Pages. So if you're doing sections, you do have to indicate what pages the sections are from. So chapter 3 is from page 87 to page 166. Edition is second edition. There's no volume, short title, or DOI, and you just click on Add Citation Source. For my article, I also want to add in a journal article. So over here, I'm going to go here and click Journal Article, and this is a website. So here is a journal article that I have. This was published recently. This is basically an academic article that was published by researchers on current climate issues and the rise in sea level. So we're going to go back here and we're going to look at the author. The first author we have is copy, paste. The next author is copy. And the last author is Ian Liu. And then we have the article title. So you can just copy the entire title and paste it here. There you go. Now they'll ask you for a journal title. This just means which journal was this published under. And you'll see this usually at the very top of every academic article. So this in the Journal of Marine Science and Engineering. So now it takes you to the Marine Science and Engineering page. I'm just going to copy and go back to my article. Volume. To find this information, you'll just look around the page and see if it tells you. As you go through the paper, sometimes you'll find that information at the very top or on the side. So over here, they have it down here. You see the publication year, and then beside that, the number 10 is the volume. So we're going to go back to our Google Docs, volume 10. They don't tell us the issue, so we're just going to skip that. The next item we're looking for is pages. Let's see, page 2 of 20. So pages 1 to published date. So whatever information you can find, that's the one you would put in. So published was on May 2nd, 2022. So if they say received and accepted, that just means when the article was in process. Published date is the date that this was for the public to read and review. So published date is 2nd March 2022. You can ignore published season. URL would be the URL for this. So at the very top, just copy that. And lastly, you have the DOI number. So every article will have a DOI number. You just have to look for it. So at the very bottom, as you can see here, at the bottom, this is your DOI number. So this brings me to the page of our journal where the article was published. So here you can see you find more information. Here is the DOI number. We're just going to copy. And as over here, we can also see a bracket next to the 10 that says 3. That tells us the issue number. So remember how we couldn't find that previously? Now we have it. So issue 3 and DOI, there you go. So all this does is if anyone wants to get access to this journal article, they have to either go through the URL or click on the DOI number and it'll take them straight to this page. And that's how you add in a journal article. So we have it there along with the rest of our citations. As you can see, now I'm starting to write my article or the paper that I have to submit to my teacher on the rise in sea levels. And I've just started talking about the sea level, the rise in water is causing damages. And I'm going to cite this because I found this information from one of the news articles. So to cite that, and this is what we call in text, you go to tools, click on citation, and it comes back up. So everything that you've cited, it's all here. If you want to get rid of this while you're writing your paper, just click on the X sign. Otherwise, we can just always bring it back at any time, especially if you want to add in another citation. So I want to cite this. To do this, I'm just going to click cite. This just in text cited the information for me. This just indicates that the information that I'm talking about here is coming from that specific article, and I am just taking information from there and putting it into my own words. And this is what you will do throughout the rest of your paper. Anytime you are getting information from somewhere else and you're putting it into your own words, you will just in text cite. At the very end, you will need a page called the references. To insert your references, all you have to do at the very bottom is click insert reference. When you do this, as you can see, Google Docs inserts all the references for you right here. You don't have to do anything extra. So once you're done your paper, you click on insert reference and everything in alphabetical order is cited for you. Make it easy for you to just insert it. Once you click insert reference, everything gets referenced right onto your page at the very end of your paper, making it very easy for you. You don't have to worry about it. Everything is all there. You don't have to use an external software. You can just click insert and go. And that is how you reference on Google Docs. Hope this helps. Thank you very much.